Hello, Division 5B to your weekly recap. This time, a lot less sleepy actually. I feel quite well rested. Tuesday
Yeah,
afternoon, gonna side with my co-host Lazra.
hello.
Let's get into previous schedule. You watched all of these games, haven't you?
I did. I watched all of them. Apart from I took notes on all of them apart from the Derby game, which I watched live, and the Halfling game, which I kind of just couldn't be bothered. I just sort of laughed at it and didn't really take any shorthand. But everything else, I should have something to say about.
Once again, we ignore Look Lazy. Good one.
Well, I watched it. I can't remember. Oh, I don't know. Okay, I can talk about it because I can criticize Look Lazy, which, let's face it, is my favorite part of the week these days. Anyway, carry on.
Right, what am I doing? Yes, last week's things. That's fixing REBBL.net over on the screen. He wins a game against the Cookpot Cannibals 2-0.
Yeah, and I was right. This could have been like 8-0. And Look Lazy went for the because he had a witch elf on 4 of 6, and he was attacking in the first half, and he spent the entire half trying to get a casualty on a halfling with his witch. The rookie witch that obviously doesn't even have blocks, so you're fishing for powers on halflings. So he did that all half. And so he just didn't score. And then the
Oh,
halflings like managed to sack the ball on like turn 7 after.
Jesus.
So he could have just run the ball in for a touchdown on like turn 3 and then reset and like gone for like a 5-0.
Yeah.
But he didn't. And then it was 0-0 at half time, and it was almost like maybe he might choke it up.
Yeah.
But the second half was just, yeah, it is what it was. Halflings failing rolls because they're halflings, and they had, the Dark Elves have some blodge, so they can just remove a halfling every turn or so, and it was a bit too much. Halflings struggle against agi teams, don't they? Because
Oh, yeah.
a lot, like, so I know he was really expecting the halflings to win, but it should have been like 6-0, but
Yeah.
it wasn't because had the wrong idea. In my opinion, I'm sure some people would say it was correct to go for casualties when you've only got 2 block on the team, and maybe was it 1 tackle? Might have been 1 tackle. I don't know. Because halflings are so easy to score against. You just run past them and they can't even sack you.
Sweet,
He
sweet
injured the strength.
86.
He injured the strength 3 one. Halflings got a blitz on the turn 1, so he blitzed with the strength 3 halfling. He fell over and injured himself turn 1 and
Oh,
didn't get AP'd. So he didn't even have the strength 3 stacking halfling, which is like the
God.
kind of only threat there for the entire game. I don't know. I wasn't super impressed.
Okay. Even when he wins, we crap on him. Fruit of the Tomb.
Well,
Well,
yeah, Fruit the Tomb took 2 bribes into this rat game and lost 3-1. It was a blizzard, um, and it was sort of going pretty standard. I mean, the Skaven decided to go for the turn 2 Bloodstep Potato, which got knocked out the next turn, and you sort of thought, okay, this could get a bit bad, but the Skaven managed to recover into a pretty good sideline cage, and we were able to score turn 3 into a riot. Wraithclaw played it fairly well. In my notes, I'm seeing that he sent, like, at the start of all the undead drives, he'd send maybe 3 or 4 rats, but not enough to completely screen. So what would happen is he'd send 4 rats into the backfield, but then the ghoul would just run around them and like throw a quick pass into a cage,
uh-huh.
and then you've sort of lost 4 rats behind the ball,
Yeah.
because they're usually just line rats, so you're sort of done. So it was about 1-1, 1-1 at halftime. Oh, I was really annoyed actually. This got me a bit. The rats had a turn 8 where like they didn't have anything going for them. It was like turn 8 for the rats at the end of the drive, and he didn't vanity pass on his 5 out of 6 blitzer. And I was so angry with him. I was obviously angry is a strong word, but I was just like, what are you doing?
You were
It's like I
throwing
could have
things
been. It was
around,
sure. It might have
shouting.
been like a basic. I think why he did it was he didn't have a reroll, but the kickoff gave him a reroll. But even though it's like a 33%, or even less than that to get it, if you think, because it's a 3+ pickup, 3+ throw, 2+ catch, I would still have done it because it's just
Oh,
like
yeah.
a free chance. Like, it's much more likely than knocking out a zombie or casing a zombie with any block. I don't know. Anyway, second half. When did it get bad? So I'm just rereading it. Oh, one thing Red did really well because through the team they have two mummies, so they'd keep the mummies on the cage base, like the undead player deliberately like kept his mummies base because he's like, oh, they're strength 5, they're not going to get knocked down. But Wraith God is really good at like finding 2 dice against the mummies to open up a cage corner and then blitzing into the cage, which caused so many problems for the undead.
Yeah.
And it just ended up with there was one sack on the ball too many, and it all just collapsed around the undead team, and the rats flooded through and ran away with the ball, and it went 3-1 in the end. So it was some very clever rat play. Like I wouldn't have personally gone for all the two trying to find 2 dice in the mummies. I would have just dodged away, but he did get them like 2 or 3 times, and it caused so many problems because it's not something you expect to see. So yeah, it was well played by the rats in the end, I think, on balance.
Nice. You get to talk some more. Exile Braves against 17 Weeks of Suffering. 17 Weeks of Suffering won.
I know, pulling out the 2-1. It was a great opening of the right. Picture the scene. It's the Norse go in with, I think they went with Boomer and a Bribe or something. Yeah, Boomer, Bribe and Fame or something like that. And Crocs gets injured turn 1 on a foul. Boomer knocks out the Strength 4 Skink with a bomb turn 2.
Oh Jesus!
And it completely turns the game around. But the problem is, it was the Norse drive when this happened, and he did that at the expense of the ball, and it ended up bouncing into the hands of a Saurus, who spent the entire half just beating up Norse before running it in while surfing, which was pretty impressive. So at 1-0, the Norse have been turned over, and it's 1-0 Lizards at the half time, and you're thinking like, how do they do it? Because it's I think it's 8v11, something like that. 11 Norse. Was it 11 Norse, 8 Lizards? Oh, I can't remember. There's a big swing in players with some random KOs. A KO got AP'd into a stun. There was some all sorts of like, both teams were playing for the win. It was a really tight game. And when it got, I don't know, when it got a bit messy was maybe I think it was turn 12, turn 13, maybe even early that, maybe turn 11. There was basically 5 Saurus left and 3 Skinks against a horde of Norse, protecting this 1-0 lead. But what they did was they put the Saurus behind they had to sideline cage, they didn't have the players. So they sideline cage on about the halfway line, but they put the Saurus behind the ball instead of in front of the ball.
What?
And that kind of meant that it killed all their forward momentum, because they had it on a Skink, and I think if they had kept the Saurus in front, sure they base, because they were going to base the cage anyway the next turn. If you based it behind the cage instead of in front, and then maybe you can get a Saurus block or a Saurus blitz in, and then it's like a 3+ with a reroll dodge out, and then you're downfield. And then maybe you can throw a punt or something. But he didn't do that. He put the Saurus behind. It just got messy. And then the Lizards got pitch cleared.
Oh god.
So it's 1-1, turn 13. The Strength 4 Skink does come back, but it's 7 Lizards versus 11. And then they just Potato Skink. And the Potato Skink got sacked. And then it got a bit crazy. There was just a load of passes back and forth across the halfway line for 5 turns, so it looked like it was going to be 1-1. But turn 16, Major Bite chain pushes a player into scoring range, but he's based. Ooh. He picks up the ball, quick pass over the halfway line, caught in 1 tackle zone, and then dodges out 2 GFIs into the house. Turn 16, 2-1, and I think it was all without a reroll as well. So it was a crazy play that got the 2-1 for the Norse. They played out their skins and got the result. It was really fun to watch.
That's hilarious. That sounds like a good time. Rip those MVPs, by the way. Gaston Gangers losing against the Pork Squad. It triggers me more than it should that the P is capitalized and the S isn't.
I'm trying to think what. So the Rats there was a pitch invasion turn 1 of the Orc Drive, which knocked down 3 or 4 backfield Orcs, and so the Rats were like, okay, Orcs have gone down, I need to get the ball. Obviously, that's like Rat 101. But the problem was, kind of the wrong Orcs went down. So he committed like 3 or 4 or 5 Rats into the backfield, but couldn't actually secure the ball. It ended up in the hands of a Storm Vermin who couldn't really dodge out. And the Orcs the Orcs on the line just came in and completely wrapped up and locked down the Rats. Like every single movement from the Pork Squad was perfect, so that every single Rat had to make at least like a 3+2+ to get out of tackle zones. and they just ground the Rats down from there because obviously you've lost half the Rats. The coach had lost half his team to trying to get the ball, but it just didn't work at all because there was too much. There was still just enough Orcs in the backfield to cover the ball off, and they couldn't get it. And so the Orcs just ground down the pitch against the remaining 4 Rats, and it was to make it 1-0. And then what happened? Yeah, then on the Rat drive, it was still 10v11. There weren't that many removals though, in spite of all the blocks that were thrown against those poor Rats. The first action, the Rat coach did a vanity pass first action, which failed.
Oh, what?
I know, which sort of isn't great because after that, the Orcs just did the LOS blocks that the Rats were going to do, and then put 3 Orcs on the ball, and it was a massive scrum. And after about 4 turns of chain pushing and scrumming, there was some desperation 2-heads play that almost worked but didn't. He failed the last dodge, and then there was I think it was a Rat Snake on turn 12 as well, and that was all that was needed. The rookie Black Orc took the ball off the floor on a easy 4+ no reroll, and the sack was a 1 dice skull which turned into a KO, and the game was over at like turn 12 when it was not even turn 12, turn 14 or turn 13 when it was 2-0 to the Orcs. And that was that. So yeah, some Rats got beat up. They got lulled in by a pitch invasion, and the Orc team never really looked back.
Orcs pulled a sneaky.
Yeah, sneaky pitch invasion. Got him good.
Bridge Burners also lost against some Orcs.
Yeah, this was the Stockholm. I think they're both in Stockholm. If I say that wrong, I'm sorry, but they were. I was informed by Rast. He pinged me as he went live, saying this is a derby game, so maybe give it a watch. And luckily, I was free, so I was able to watch it. It was Orcs versus Kislev, and the Orcs did really well to score. I can't remember the specifics because I was watching it live. I couldn't take any notes, and it was a few days ago. But if I remember correctly, he lost 2 Black Orcs on turn, like in 2 turns or something against the Kislev, and somehow managed to score 9v11 on his drive at the half. And then I think it was a classic case of like Kislev offense, even when they're developed, is pretty bad, and Kislev defense when they don't have any levels is even worse.
Yeah.
So he just couldn't get through the Orc call. Highlight for me that I noticed was because you and me are both Orcs in the team, and he deliberately put me like right next to the bear, my line Orcs, in my whole second half. My guy would stand up, get hit by the bear, stand up, get hit by the bear. To be fair, he wasn't removed, so fair play to it, but I thought that was quite a funny touch. But I don't have too much more to add because it was half a week ago and I've forgotten most of the specifics. I'm afraid, sorry.
Fair enough. Nice victory either way. Blood and Tears managed to tie against the High Elves. Hello.
I know, hello. Oh my god. Vamps really set the tone. First block killed the poor old elf.
Jesus.
It was one of those where it was like 7v7 at about half time. It was a bit crazy. But to be fair, the Rams had to use their bench. There was a scary moment actually. The Agi 5 Vamp was killed on the field in the second half, instantly AFO'd into a death, but he regen.
Oh Jesus, that's
so. Oh my god! Right, so this is why I've double-starred this in my shorthand because I thought it was an interesting line. So the Vamps were about 1-0 up at half. The Vamps were 1-0 up at half time, but the Elves were able to pretty much pitch clear the Vamps early in the second half. They really tore through them. And there were only two vampire players left on the pitch on like turn 15. But what the high up coach did, he stalled from about turn 12 or turn 11. He stalled from then to the end of the game on his drive, which I would say is kind of weird because in my opinion, you know, you've got them so much on the ropes that I'd have just run it in maybe turn 13, turn 14 when the Vamps can't really score and go for the win. But he didn't. He played for the draw, which I thought was a bit mad. I don't know what he'd do in that situation. He was High Elves, and he had the Vamps completely on the run, and decided instead of scoring and giving himself 3 or 4 turns to maybe come up with a winning play, he deliberately stalled until I think it was exactly the last turn of the game before he scored to make it 1-1, which I thought was, I don't know, it was interesting. I don't know how correct it was, even in terms of getting SPP, because he wanted the extra touchdowns. But he basically spent the entire second half running his mighty blow into Thralls and trying to level it. I don't know. It could have been a win for the High Elves. The Vamp coach would be lucky to get. I thought the Vamp coach would have been very happy to see the stalling all the
Yeah.
way into turn 15, turn 16, because I don't think the Vamps could have held a second time round. So I thought that was a really interesting idea from the High Elves. I don't think I'd have seen many other High Elf coaches do the same thing. So I thought it was interesting.
I guess there's a point or a case to be made for playing it safe, but I don't really know. I would have had to be there for it.
I just looked weird because it was complete pitch clear, and even if the Vamps KOs had come back, it still would have been like, I don't know, 10v7 or something in favour of the High Elves with 4 turns to play, and surely you'd back the High Elves to come up with something. I don't know.
I mean, if you really
Maybe
want
he was
to,
maybe he was that scared of the crazy Vamps, like the Agi5 Vamp and stuff, coming back and doing something. But yeah,
if you
whatever.
really want to metagame it, it's like the High Elves don't really want to go to playoffs, so they deliberately go
They
1-1,
deliberately dropped the
so
2 points while trying to like vanity pass the way through. I can see that. I
so
can
they
see
don't
that.
get
Early,
the
early
LOS
days.
hits, you know.
Yeah, that's also true.
But
Okay,
I
I can
don't know.
see. Yeah, it's still a bit weird in my opinion.
I guess.
I just haven't seen. I don't think I've ever seen that sort of complete stall where it's just like you turn down the like someone. It's the first time I see someone turn down a shot at a win to take a draw in like regular season play. I don't know. It sort of weirded me out a
Really.
bit. Anyway, yeah. Well, you see it in like playoffs and stuff when people want to like play for overtime or whatever, or don't care about playoffs and want to have another season with a team without them all dying, so they just stall. But yeah, whatever.
We may never know. Last game here. It's the Tungsten Titans losing against One Thick Code.
Yeah, you should have stuck with your chalk prediction because you were kind of right the first time round. My prediction of a 0-0 draw did not go very well, believe
Yeah.
it or not. Um, oh, I'm just looking. I've only read it was a dwarf off, right? There wasn't much going on. I've written about 5 lines of shorthand where every other game got at least 10. Um, oh, this is what's weird. Okay, so this is where it gets a bit interesting. So it was the Chorf Drive, and it was sort of just standard Blood Bowl until the Mighty Blow piling on Troll Slayer decided, because he was like a safety. He had about 3 safety pieces, the Dwarf player, and one of them was the Troll Slayer. And instead of waiting for like a breakout, he committed another 1 player and his Troll Slayer to a Bull Centaur randomly. So he blitzed it with he blitzed the armor 9 instead of the Hobgoblin, let's say, knocked it down, and then piled on, and so he lost 2 safeties, and then the Chorfs just sort of like, okay, I guess I'll just score.
Mm-hmm.
And so the Chorfs scored on like turn 4 of their opening drive, which is not what you want really. And then it was a nightmare. The game was over on turn 7. I remember this one. That's why it's so short. So the Dwarves just lined up for their now attacking drive on turn 5. They just lined up and put like 2 runners in the backfield, and just kind of watched 2 bulls go around them, sack the runner, pick up the ball, and score on turn 7.
Oof.
Well, let's be fair. The Bull Centaur itself was called, I think it was Blood Angels Red or something. It was like a blitz down on 2 dice, 4+ pickup, GFI, 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 score on turn 7. Which isn't nice. It was a big time play, but 2-0 at half time. I stopped watching because there's no way the Dwarves can score twice in a half. And that's just like,
Yeah.
I don't know what was going on. I think maybe Villainich was like tilted or something, because I think he's pretty good at Blood Bowl. So to see him play how he did was sort of like, I didn't really know what was going on. I don't know whether maybe there was a bounty on the Bull Centaur that he tried to, because the turn after that he piled onto it again and knocked it out finally. So at least he cleared the Bull Centaur.
Yeah.
But the Bull Centaur then came back at the first opportunity off the KO bench. So it was sort of a bit wasted. He sort of wasted a score for no real, whatever. It just seemed really odd to watch, but it was good though, because it meant that I only had to watch like 7 turns of the dwarf off, which I'm not complaining about too much because they can be very boring sometimes.
Okay. So that's yeah, fair enough actually.
And I was getting a bit tired by then as well. It was like the last game on the list, so I was kind of glad that I could legitimately stop watching halfway through and like go do something else in my time. So yeah, no, it was. Oh, I don't know what happened to Billy there. Maybe he had to go somewhere and like, or maybe he's just like having a laugh or something. I don't know. It was a bit. Maybe he was in voice with the opposition and they were like joking about. I can't explain it. I don't know what he was doing. and I was really confused.
Never be on comms with your opponent. I learned that the hard way.
What
At least,
happened?
I don't know. I just get absolutely mind flooded whenever I do that.
Oh, to get mind gamed by the opposition.
Yep.
Oh.
Like not mind gamed. It's just I focus way too much on talking instead of playing the game because I do really like
Yeah,
talking.
yeah, no, that's true. I think is my thing is I do tend to talk to myself a bit when I'm like trying to plan out a turn, so I don't think I could ever really go into comms with someone because I just
Oh yeah,
constantly be talking through my
yeah,
thought process the entire time.
yeah. Same here.
Especially when it's like Agi v Agi, and you've got to not only plan out the turn but plan out the entire game in your head, like what turn do I want to score and stuff. It's just like too much for me, so I have to talk out loud, and I think that would not go well if the other person was listening to me.
Yeah, I just talking to people while you play the game is really tough, and I don't get how streamers do it.
Yeah, I don't get it either.
Either way, let's go on to development.
Okay,
REBBL.net,
cool.
work with me. Here we go. Hexotal Braves. Lizardman. They get absolutely nothing because of the MVP on the one loner on the team. That's classic, I guess. Yep.
Classic. Yeah.
He hired the loner who got the MVP.
Yeah. Sorry, where are we? I was a little bit distracted there. Who are we looking at?
We were looking at Hexotal Braves,
Oh yeah. Sorry.
right? And he got the MVP
Mhm.
on the skink, which
Yep.
he hired. God, I hate default names.
Yeah. No. No. Right. You say that, but he only had 3 skinks. So like, it's not as if he's hired a bench skink that's MVP. You know, it's
Yeah.
just like, and it's not like he needs to replace anything. So I don't mind it that much.
In terms of like tactics, it's good because his team is better now because now he has a 5 SPP skink.
Mhm.
But I don't like his names, so he loses. Yep. Fruit of the Tomb gets a whole lot of bananages level,
Yep.
which is huge actually. That's a guard on the block piece.
Yeah, that's really good. Zombie gets kick, which is good.
I like it. Less great on a team like Undead, but I think every team should have kick because it's good.
Yeah, kick helps because it's also a big mind game thing. Like even I wouldn't say this undead is going to threaten you on a deep or shallow kick that much,
Look out
but
for the movement 6
but
Google.
coaches are going to see the kick and think, oh, the kick's going to be deep, so I'm going to have to set up in a certain way, even though they probably don't even have to. So yeah, I think it's good. It's a really good pickup.
Yep.
Can you think of a team that like kick would be a bad skill on? Because I can't.
Ogres.
Maybe halflings, ogres, halflings, goblins. Apart from that, any legitimate team should have a like. It doesn't hurt to have a kick piece.
Yeah, I can probably agree with that. Yep. Darkest Dark Elves. Let's see if they actually got something.
Yes, they leveled that witch at least.
Ooh, they leveled the Witch and the Blitzer. The Witch gets block, which is a choice. I usually like to take Wrestle on the Witch first.
That's interesting.
Is it?
Yeah, because I guess you don't really have anyone else who could take wrestle. So yeah,
Oh, no.
I agree now.
Yep, that's the Witch is really your only sacrifice. Because all your other, your other players are the Blitzers who come with block. The Runner, which is your carrier, obviously. The Assassin,
If you
which is
run one.
garbage.
Oh, the assassin is just a meme.
Uh,
Assassin is so bad. I forgot how
actually,
bad it
the
was.
last,
It's armor 7 as well, isn't it? It's
yeah, it
so
is.
bad.
But you
It's
say
like
that
6,
last season.
6, 3, 4, 7 with stab or something, and shadowing.
That's
Oh
right.
my god.
Last season, I recapped the division. I don't fully remember what division it was because I have the worst memory. Either way, it was a Dark Elf team with an assassin. Now, there's this Churf team in the same league. He had like an Agi 4 bull and a Strength 5 bull. strength 5, movement 7 bull, right? Pretty sure the assassin armor busted the strength 5, movement 7 bull centaur. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
so basically assassins are amazing from now on because I gave that
Yeah.
assassin shit all season, and then
Yeah.
he basically killed the best player in the entire division,
Well, that's what he's there for, isn't it? Fill the role.
assassinating good
Sure.
players. Nah, it was the movement, no, the armor 9 stab. It was amazing. God, the replay was so good. Enough about assassins though, who, let's be honest here, are kind of garbage. Block on the witch elf. I mean, I guess that's the thing. And he
He
goes
doesn't even
tackle.
have an Why are we talking about assassins though? He doesn't even have an assassin.
No, we were talking about assassins because I was talking about players because we were talking about who to take wrestle on and who to have your Sakras.
Yeah, we take it on the witch elf.
You
Sorry,
take it on the
sorry.
witch because
We got
everyone
another
else
in other new. He's got another tackle, hasn't he?
he
The old
does,
blitzer tick tackle,
and
which
that's
is good.
odd.
Is it odd?
I think it's odd
How come?
because I don't think a lot of tackle is that important at this tier. Like tackle is good, but like
Well, what do you take instead? Like sidestep?
probably sidestep, maybe diving tackle.
Yeah, it's not. I wouldn't say that it's like odd. I just say it's like one of 2 or 3 options that you can take for that level. I don't hate it. Thing is, he's got the tackle after the halfling matchup. So, which teams is he going to be using all that tackle against? The rats, actually.
Let's
He
see.
might be looking at the skinks and the rats of this world and thinking, "Yeah, I need 2 tackle." Maybe. No, I don't. I don't think. I
Skinks,
certainly don't think it's odd
rats.
in this div when you've got 2 rat teams, a lizard team running around. And even then, like even against other teams who like might just have the one, it's good to have the redundancy. Yeah, I don't know. I don't think it's
Yeah,
odd. I think
I
it's a
guess
fine
you're
pickup myself,
probably
but
right.
we can always agree to disagree.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I just think tackle. Yeah, it's a good skill, but I don't know. Yeah. Onwards, because I'm really confused about what to think about tackle, honestly, because it's really good. Obviously, tackle is a good skill, but it's like,
Yeah, it's a debate though. Is it as good as sidestep? I think that's one for another time, maybe. Because I think we'd go over the 2 hour mark if we had that
oh,
discussion all the way
oh
through.
yes, we would.
Which, to be honest, they kind of deserve because we did a 13-minute recap last
That's
week.
true.
So...
That is true. That is true. Well, you say 30 minutes. They got the 13 minutes. In reality, we did 1.5 hours.
Yeah. Oh yeah, it was like it was in theory. It was a 2 hour recap, but only 13 minutes of it got saved.
Yeah.
Ugh.
That is a tragedy on the level with like the burning of the library at Alexandria and stuff. So much information lost forever.
Yeah. Set the world back 1,000 years. Yeah,
That's
yeah.
basically what happened with that corrupting
Mm.
video. Tunnel sneaks.
Yeah.
It's the rat team, so you'd expect some levels, and you would be right. He finally got a blitzer level. It took guard, and he has this stupid rat ogre. And he has Liam Neeson, the second thrower, who now has.
Oh.
This team, man, it's like.
Right. The problem is he's getting results with it, so I feel like I might have to be shutting up soon about it because it's working somehow.
You say that,
I
but
just
he's
feel
3,
I
2,
just
and 3.
feel like it's such bloat and yeah. Oh, Ratmeat got a level. Oh, sick. How did I miss that? Oh yeah, he got MVP. Yeah, okay, that's why I missed it. He got MVP.
Got guard instead of Mighty Blow.
Oh, for God's sake. Nah. I mean, the standard pickup is Mighty Blow there, almost 99 times out of 100.
For a good reason.
Yeah, for the reason that that Blitzer, how he's gonna need to get another MVP before, because he's not gonna Kaz anything, because he's gonna stay. He's gonna actually 3 dodge away from whoever's marked him and guard something, and that's like his role now, I guess. That's the problem with guard first, because you stop even blitzing with him. Because
Yeah.
the way you'd use it is you'd put him on 2 cage corners or something, or maybe not even, you can't even really cage dive him in. That's why you put guard on a line rat because they're expendable and it's a bonus, or you put it on a guster runner because you can maybe leap it in and guard and get some interesting sacks. I just think on a blitzer, their roles are to get removals for you to level out all the removals that you're taking, and then to also have some utility for like one turns, and maybe then get guard as a 5th skill once you've got something else, or maybe if you've rolled agi or something crazy, you can pick up guard in it. But it's just because he'll get away with it. That's the thing. He'll get away with it in Div 5 because you'll have like maybe 1 or 2 mighty blow floating around for most of the season against him, so he won't feel the removal pinch as you do in other divs. See my team, for example.
Yeah. Mine as
Um,
well.
and yeah, it's okay for this season, but it's next season if he carries it on. Maybe he's just doing it. If he's doing it for just 1 season, then yeah, actually, you could start to argue. But it's just the thing for me is that you have to. Any good player will just mark that blitzer in a bad spot whenever they can. And so you're having to roll like a 1 in 9 to even start off your sacking, which just isn't good.
Yeah.
Just there's nothing about that that's good. So I'm not a fan. In short, 2 minutes of ranting later, not a fan. The one instance where I would say you take Mighty Blow ahead of guard, probably the only instance. I'm trying to think of other instances. Maybe the first Nurgle Warrior you get to level 3, but apart from that.
What do you mean level 3? You get block and then you get guard.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah,
sorry, I
level
meant
3.
level 2. No,
No, that
because
is level 3.
1, level 1 is nothing. Level 2
Yeah.
you get blocked. Level 3, I was right.
I think that's.
He's got a rat ogre. Oh yeah, this might just be a fun little rat time if he's picked up the rat ogre. That's probably just he's here to do rat bullshit wherever he can and have fun.
He's
So in that
picked up
case,
the Rat Ogre for fun, and then he's main maxing with beer.
I wouldn't say any of this is min-maxing by any stretch. Maybe the leader on it. If it was a leader on his only thrower, then maybe I could argue for min-maxing. But with a guard first blitzer, a rat ogre, a second thrower, this isn't min-maxing at
It's
all.
hideous.
I wouldn't say hideous is a strong word, but it's not pretty.
Also, please sort your team. Thank you.
Don't sort your team. I don't mind this. It's not. What do you mean? Please sort your team.
It's ugly to look
He's
at.
put all his gutter runners at the front. He's got all his
And then you have
positionals
a
up
thrower,
front.
then you have
and
two
then the meme.
blitzers, a bunch of
Yeah.
linos, then a thrower, and then a rat.
Yeah.
Ogre. Like the rat ogre is
So,
in the good
right.
place. Like the rat ogre
Right.
deserves to be at the bottom because he sucks, right?
So how he's ordered it, right? He's got his good positionals, his kick lineman, then his regular lineman, and then his meme pieces at the bottom. I'd argue that's pretty sorted.
You mean the guard blitzer is in a meme piece? You mean the thrower is in a meme piece? With accurate first?
No, the accurate thrower you can actually, yeah, the guard blitzer should probably be at the bottom now. No, I think there's some people would debate that a guard, maybe let's say if it was like a tabletop league where he's playing like 6 games, then maybe like I can see a guard blitzer being a pick. But in a perpetual league where you're playing more than 1 season with the team, you're just hurting yourself.
Gutters first, then blitzers, then throwers, then linemen, then rat ogre. 17 weeks of suffering. That's the Major Bites Norse team. Only Linos gets a grand total of nothing. Okay.
Yep.
Pork Squad with the uncapitalized S. One day, man. He gets the level on the last. He gets the.
Oh, we got dodge. Oh, that's amazing. Oh,
This
I love
is
it.
like this is like the Lizardman team in GMAN 2A with 5 like dodge Lizardmen.
Oh, dodge is so good though. Just one
As
more
a
MVP.
first skill.
Yeah, but you don't know when you're gonna roll doubles. And he's already got 3 other ones with block. If I agree, if it's your first Black Hawk level up, then maybe you skip it. But when you've already got 3 block and a block guard, I don't mind taking it. I really don't, because it can
Idiot.
just sit there and take the occasional 2 dice block and maybe soak an MVP, and then once he gets the blodge, he's unstoppable. That's really good.
That's such a long-term project. You go like dodge,
Yeah, but orcs are a
block,
long-term project.
guard, stand firm, break tackle.
Yeah, but I'd say that orcs are a long-term project. Really. Since when do you see a 1 or 2 season orc team do well? They're a long-term team, and
You'd be surprised.
dodge is really good. Yeah, maybe. All right. If you think he wants to go a bit quicker, maybe he could go dodge, block, mighty blow. If you really want to,
I know
like,
I would have gone dodge on
pick
that black
some.
orc because I love dodge. Um,
Yeah, well, we're Raji coaches, so we love dodge in general.
I used to play a bunch of necro, and I had a large flesh golem at one point. That thing was the greatest.
Oh yeah, especially on flesh golems, because they come with stand firm. So it's just like you start with one of the pieces of the puzzle.
Yep. One of my favorite.
No, it's good.
Ever. Yeah, I mean, yeah, it's good. The orcs on tour. Let's see if they got any. Oh god, no. I was about to ask if they got any dodge. No, they got slaughtered instead. Well, in terms of MNG, and I think that's an agi bust, which you can live with, but yeah, that's an.
I just
agi
realized
bust.
the other team we missed. I realized remember last week we missed 2 teams. I think we missed the Kislev.
We did.
Yeah, we missed the Kislev. I think we did. Okay. Anyway, sorry. Carry on. It just came to me.
Sure. Yeah, MNG on me. Um,
Yikes.
agi bust on
Major bite.
Major
I'm guessing.
Bite. He gets Mighty Blow off their guard, which is fair enough, I
Yeah.
guess. Agi busted now as well.
And Kejaruz
Time
gets.
for a break tackle, am I right?
Kejaruz gets mighty blow.
He does.
Yeah.
So that's a tackle Mighty Blow, that's nice.
That's nice. That's gonna kill some of Wraithguard's rats, and my point will be proven. Hopefully, fingers crossed.
And there's an ugly goblin.
Yeah.
Yep.
Oh, he might have to. He's gonna have to play the goblin, I think, next round. 1, 2, 3, 5. Oh, he doesn't have to. He doesn't quite have to. No, he'll have to field one of his thrower and his goblins. So next time they play, they're gonna have some low armor people on the pitch for the first time in a little while. Since they had 2 roster goblins, which is still like that's quite cool. I think he should rehire a goblin. Has he got the money for it?
Don't listen to him.
Okay, yeah.
He tricks you.
It's kind of sad that Major Bite's actually busted. I don't know how to feel about that.
It's not a
Because he's
huge-
sort of just like, I just think he's a strength busted Black Orc at this point, and I'm not a huge.
a
Basically, what
strength
I'm
busted
building
double
towards is,
movement up Black Orc.
yeah. And is that a keep?
Yes.
Oh, mate. Okay, I think you're probably right. I think I might be fishing for something to talk about here. I don't know. It's just.
Agi bust
Yeah.
isn't the end of the world.
Might be on a blitz. Nah.
No.
I'll shut up. Because all he needs is like stand firm and it's fine. Okay.
Yes.
Or something.
This team has a pending level, and that makes me mad.
Should we skip them?
Does he have any other levels? 2+ Supreme Leaders. The thing is that, alright, so he had his lineman die, and then his block lineman gets level who is kick, which is very nice. It's good.
Yep.
Approve. And then Paul Blitzia gets a level. If it's a double,
And it's not.
if it's
Yeah,
a
so he
double,
hasn't taken
listen,
it, so it's a decision.
Harmel.
So yeah, it
If
might be a
this is
double.
If this is a double, do not go piling on. For the love of God, do not go piling on.
Oh yeah.
I
please
made
don't.
that mistake. Don't make the same mistake as I did. Go, Juggernaut.
Do it.
Spare yourself the pain. If it's a normal,
Yeah,
that's
go
dodge
Juggernaut.
every day.
Yeah, it is.
So there's no real choice.
You're taking a, let's say you roll a 5/5.
You take movement.
You still taking Juggernaut over movement?
You take movement.
Are you sure? Oh,
You
I'd
take
still
movement.
Juggernaut. I think I take Juggernaut.
You take movement.
Wait, sorry, are they move 6 or movement 7? Those
They are
places?
movement 7.
Yeah, then I take Juggernaut all day.
Take movement.
They can already get to the sidelines. It's not like.
Oh, you take movement so badly.
Yeah, I guess high elves need a bit of pace.
Like he only has 2 catches. Whoops. First of all, and like God, the movement 8 intoxicating. Like oh God, especially on the killer. Like Juggernaut is good, but it's situational because it's only really good against wrestle pieces, which aren't you don't really see that many wrestle pieces, and when you do, they're usually very well protected. So even Juggernaut is sort of situational, but movement, oh God, it's so good. Oh.
I should introduce you to rats where you can have like 2 movement 10 and 2 movement 9 pieces on the same team.
Yeah, I know, but they're
Which is what
strength
I had
2.
towards the start of this season. I had 2 movement 10, 2 movement 9. I basically go the entire length of the pitch every turn. It's fun times. And that's 5 rats again.
Movement. If it's Agi, you take Agi. If it's strength, you... Wait, if it's Agi, do you take Agi? You probably don't take Agi, if you ask me. But if it's strength, you
Oh,
take
yeah,
strength.
you probably don't.
Chaos Dwarves. One thick goat. It is the Chorfs.
I got a Hobgoblin level with the MVP.
They did. Who gets... Was that Sure Hands? No. I'm looking at the dwarves here. He gets
Yes,
Sure
it is
Hands.
Sure Hands.
Yeah.
Cool.
Alright, has his carrier now. And that is that. Tungsten Titans.
Let's get 3 levels.
Do they really?
Yep. Both runners and a blocker.
Yep, so he gets ooh. Yeah. Yeah, I guess that makes sense. He made the movement 7 into his safety slash sacker.
And then
Yes,
the
that's fair
regular
enough.
one just gets the second run and normal.
Yep, and that's kickoff
Bit
return,
boring.
which is it's alright.
This is definitely on track for a boring, no stat dwarf team that gets rerolled after 2
What do you
seasons.
mean no stat? He has movement.
Yes, yeah, I guess he does have 1 movement. I'll be quiet. Is it enough to keep him interested in playing dwarves though?
No amount of stats
That's
is enough to keep dwarves interesting in my opinion, but
so that's a dot mark.
and lastly he gets guard on one of his blockers. He gets guard, which is nice.
Yep.
Blood and Tears. Let's see if they got any interesting levels. On first sight, no.
No, they didn't level.
Nope.
They lost a Thrall dead. Apart from that. Oh,
Yeah, I mean his vampires are all pretty high level. I mean
he did get he got 17 he did get 17 SVP on his vampires though this game, which is pretty good.
It's not that bad.
So you know. The fourth vampire is a vanity pass away from block to get that 3rd blodge online.
He is indeed 15 out of 60.
Which is good. Oh, I remember that vampire failing quite a couple of vanity passes actually. No, he didn't. He made 4. That was the thing. Yeah, he made 4 passes in the same game.
On the same.
It could have been 5 or 6. Yeah, it was really good in the vampire drive because I think the High Elves sort of conceded it if I remember correctly in the first half. So the vampires just sat in the backfield throwing vanity passes the entire half and then ran it forward and scored. Oh, it was good.
Well, the Bridgeburn's got a level. He gets Wrestle on a Lino.
He does.
And then 2 MNGs on 2 other guys.
Yeah,
Which
not a
is
lot going
rough.
for the Kislev that game. They got outbashed quite badly.
I mean,
And you
yeah.
and that was sort of game where you kind of see why people don't take the bet. Because the bet didn't really change the results in any way and was just a 160k blow in that game, in my opinion. I don't think it did a lot. That could have been... Oh, actually, what could that have been? Could have been a wizard. Which might have made some difference. So, yeah. So I only just noticed this because I did add a little look because I know that neither of us know anything about Kislev. Apparently, a bear is not a good idea.
I don't know a lot about
Apparently.
Kislev, but I did know that.
So, yeah. Maybe get rid of the bear. I don't know.
Like,
Just
people
start
take the bear
playing
if they
different.
like embrace the blow. Like, they're on like 2k normally, and they're like, well, what is another 150 gonna do, right?
That's true, I guess. I like that logic. So he's definitely playing the long game then with this team.
I guess.
Although I say that, since when has a Kislev coach played for a one-season game? I should I should probably shut up.
Yeah. Ha! Ha! That's right. Let's move on. The gassed out gangers, Skaven. They don't have a. This is a nice Skaven. I like this Skaven.
Yeah, this is the good Skaven. Good, like not crazy Skaven.
Right. They get well. First of all, they had 2 linemen die. They hired a thrower,
Right.
taking after the other Skaven team.
Okay.
And they got a level on the strength 4. No, strength 3. It's wrestle, as expected. What's with
Let's
the
see.
throwers?
I'm looking at this now. So, looking at his gutters. Yeah, I kind of don't get that because I don't see why you wouldn't just carry on the Blodge one at the moment. And so your two block gutter runners are probably the two heads one is going to get blocked, I imagine, and he's going to be your retrieval. And then you just give the Blodge one sure hands when he levels. If you really want that security on the ball, you just give Nick the Tire sure hands next level, or maybe instead of like sidestep. Because Blodge is kind of weird. Maybe Blodge step then sure hands, but
Yeah, maybe.
so what might happen is that we might see if he's bought the thrower, that means that Johnny Fast Feet is going to become his third sacker. Because that's why he'd buy the thrower. Because he'd buy the thrower because you've got 3 sack and gutter runners, and he needs someone to pick up the ball and hand off to start the chain. Which I don't. It's a debate, definitely, but it's not atrocious as you put it earlier.
I didn't say
Yeah,
this team was
I
atrocious.
No, but you're talking about the other one. Yeah, I'm trying to. So, I think if Johnny Fastfeet gets blocked next level, then I don't really get it at all because there's no reason not to carry on next to tires, because he can then hand off to Johnny Fastfeet, who can score in your standard 2-turn, or maybe even hand off to Petrol Pierce if Pierce can get in a good position. But if he wants that third 2 heads cage diving Saka, which I don't see why you would, because you've already got a Horns wrestle and a strength 3 wrestle. But if you want the depth, I guess, I don't know. Yeah, it's weird. In short, it's a bit of a weird one. I don't know why you wouldn't just buy a lineman like all the time there, unless you're doing, as I said, some sort of weird way with your gutters that it's a bit left field.
Yeah. I mean, yeah. What can I really add here?
Yes, that's true. That was a good little 3-minute ramble. So good.
Last team is the Cookpot Cannibals. They get a grand total of 1 level, which becomes jump up on Thaddeus.
Ooh, jump up. Oh, I get it. Yeah, because for when they fail the landing and still stay on the pitch.
I guess like.
The thing is, when you fail the landing, it's a 60% shot of getting stunned at least. So
basically, yeah.
So you've bought a skill for the 40% of the time. I don't. Maybe on the I might get it on the sprint if like the sprint had picked it up as another level, but then you just get. No, sorry. If the sure feet had picked it up on another level, I might have got it. I keep thinking that sprint. That's really bad of me. Yeah, that's a bit weird.
You know it's sure feet because there's this little dice in the bottom.
I know.
Yeah.
I just assumed that he'd have gotten sprint first level because it means that the throw doesn't have to be as good to get you in distance for the 1-turn. That's kind of why. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'd have sacked that level or given him a sidestep. I don't think jump up's very good. Because then when they go down, they don't get back up halflings. That's like their thing. That's like the thing with being armor 6. You don't get up. That's why you have things like dodge to stop you from needing jump up. Anyway.
Yeah, I mean fair enough. Next week's games, shall we? Or am I missing something?
Yeah, I don't think so. Well, hang on. I think we've done everyone. I'm just looking. Yeah, I don't think there's anyone we
Double
haven't talked
checking.
about. We're paranoid now.
Yep.
Oh well,
Everyone pray with us to the machine gods so that nothing corrupts and
fingers
stuff.
crossed.
Anyways, the Cookpot Cannibals versus Fruit of the Tomb. Believe it or not, I'm gonna go with the Fruit of the Tomb.
I'm gonna go with Fruit of the Team as well.
Yep. Darkest, uh, Dark Elves. I have them abbreviated as DD in the whole OBS thing. I keep wanting to say Darkest Dungeon. That's not good. It
It's
is
not the
Darkest
one.
Dark Elves. They are up against the Hexotl Braves.
No,
I
they're not.
guess the double dog.
Oh, sorry, I'm looking at week 6. Sorry, yeah.
Good one.
No, you're right. Oops.
I was really scared for a second that I managed
No.
to once again.
Oh yeah,
mess
no,
up
because
the,
you've set up the OBS. No, sorry.
yeah,
um.
tackle in
Oh,
handy and stuff. Um, yeah.
yeah. Can we? I'm gonna have to wrap this up in like 5 minutes. So should we speed through these
Okay. Yeah. Okay.
predictions
I'm
quickly?
gonna go with the Darkest Dark Elves.
Same.
Yeah. The Gaston Gangers versus the Tone Snakes. Uh,
Gaston Gang is their bet. Actually, oh yeah, no.
yeah.
I'm gonna go with the Tunnel Sneaks, even though I bashed their team for
What?
5 minutes.
Okay.
Because they've got the bench and the depth, and that should do it at this early stage.
Not even.
I think
They have the same bench.
they have the same bench. Okay, then Gaston Gang is in that case.
Yeah, they have the same bench because of MNGs.
Okay.
Gaston Gangers. 17 weeks of suffering against the Bridge Burners. 17 weeks of suffering.
Yeah, 17 weeks of suffering.
Yep. Those Bridge Burners really need some sure hands.
Yeah, they do.
Oh god, I need to like on the fly fix OBS real quick because I forgot to do
Oh
one small
god.
thing. No, it's fine. I just have to. Okay, good enough. Transition. There you go. It's a little high for those watching, but don't worry about it.
Okay.
It's Blood and Tears versus the Pork Squad.
Blood and Tears.
Yes, because I like vampires.
Sorry,
Dude,
Steve.
Dude versus. Oh god, I messed up this one as well. 2 seconds. What? Did I just like straight up forget to like properly
Yeah,
resize
apparently.
these?
You're too busy ticketing the clan games.
Yep. That was what I was doing right before you guys came. There we go. Tongues and Titans versus the Orcs on Tour. Orcs on Tour are missing a guard mighty blow piece, so I'm gonna go with the dwarves.
Me too.
Right, 2+ Supreme Leaders. It's the High Elves versus the. What even is this? Chorfs.
I'm gonna go with the Chorfs because I like the way they played. They said they didn't mess up against the Dwarves. They weren't fancy. They just took the opportunity and won. So I'm gonna go with the Chorfs.
I'm gonna go with the High Elves because the Chorfs have like no Mighty Blow, no Claw, and like High
They have
Elves.
6 tackle.
Tackle is a fake skill.
Yeah, especially when I don't think even many of the highers have dodge yet because they're all
Yeah,
gonna
they have
still be
like
level 1.
2 dodge. The High Elves have 2 dodge. Like,
I'm still gonna call the Chorfs. I'm gonna back the coach. I'm gonna back Grimzilla.
I think that was every game. Let me double check
Yeah, it
real quick
was.
because I managed to press a button. Alright, you
Mhm.
confirmed it and stuff. I actually really want to go to the leaderboard. Up
If you
top,
want, quickly.
yeah, 3.
Is it alright if you do the leaderboard on your own? I've actually got to go now. So
Alright, see you later.
cool. Ciao.
Okay, I think he's gone, guys. So first up we have Rasta and his Orcs on Tour with 3-1-0, undefeated so far. Great record. Good team, great record. One more is to say. Second spot, more Orcs, which is actually sort of interesting. You don't really see Orcs doing that fantastically in their first season. Good to see. And then third spot is Lizards. What is going on here, guys? Lizards are supposed to be bad in there. Well, they have a strength 4 skink, don't they? So that's gonna like do stuff. So yeah, that's the top 3 there. Maybe a more in-depth look at the whole leaderboard thing next week when Lazarus here, because I don't really fancy talking by myself. So yeah, that was basically the recap. I just realized I forgot to transition. You guys can live with it. Yeah, see y'all next week.